income strategy, like a business plan around your channel. Like most people on YouTube, you probably get joy from making videos, but at the end of the day, that's not enough to fund a career. So it's also like every decision I make, it has to fall under my business plan for the channel of, is this going to make me money? Is this going to lead me to profit? Is this going to be a sustainable decision that benefits me in the long run?
This is Greg Priest. He makes over 50,000 pounds a year figuring out which AI tools can help us create videos faster, be more consistent, and get more views and sales. His secret to success comes from his incredible dedication to consistency, as he has produced a video every week for over 7 years. But even through his growth and consistency, he drank a little too much of the YouTuber Kool-Aid and ran into some issues around growth and scaling that proved to be a valuable lesson that he has now on track from. In this episode, we dive into how affiliate marketing can be a valuable and low barrier way to generate income as a creator, scaling too fast and overcommitting, what building relationships with brands long-term looks like, and why focusing on a specific niche and providing services in that area can be such a lucrative income stream. Greg is proof that YouTube success is about slow and steady growth to get you to your financial wins. The Funded YouTuber is brought to you by Gigastar. Welcome to the podcast, Greg. I'm very excited to have you on to talk about your amazing journey as a creator.
Hey, yeah, really happy to be here. I think this stuff doesn't get talked about enough, so happy to kind of open up my business and break it down.
Yeah, and I think it's really important for us to always start off with like what you create, so we have context of like the world in which you exist in. So what do you create on YouTube?
So I make content to help other video creators put out videos easier and more consistently. So I talk a lot about kind of AI tools that they can use, systems they can follow to just really streamline the video creation workflow.
And how did you get into that?
Ooh, where do I start? Well, I've been a YouTuber myself for 7 years, and something people kind of always credit me with is having like great consistency over that time. I think on average, I've done a video a week for the last 7 years consistently. Sometimes that's been even higher than that. And when people ask me what is required for success on YouTube, like I've just got 100,000 subscribers myself, I always answer consistency. You just need to show up, keep putting content out, learn along the way. And that's a big problem. I saw people, they just really struggle to find the time every week to put videos out. So I thought I'd change my channel to help people do just that and be consistent as creators.
Why is consistency so important in your opinion?
Because being a creator requires a skill set. And with any skill set, no one is a natural. You have to learn and develop that skill set. And to learn anything, you have to show up consistently over time to get better at it. People come to YouTube and to social media just thinking they're going to get like 100,000 or 1 million subscribers in the first year. It doesn't usually happen. So consistency is just essential to get as good as the competition and get to a level where you can actually grow your following to where you need it to be.
When we're talking about your YouTube journey, talk to us about some of the financial struggles that you have dealt with in your business. Like maybe going back to the beginning, like what were some of the early victories and early struggles that you'd had to deal with?
So when I started my YouTube channel, I was in the same situation as I'm guessing most people watching this will be in at the start. I had to juggle building the channel with having a full-time job. I was also, on top of that, traveling at that point in time, backpacking. So I had to find work in the new locations I was arriving in, go to the job and do the work in the day, and also run my channel. So a little third complication there. So yeah, 8 hours working per day, and then finding time outside of that at the end of the day to film a video and get a video on the channel. That was definitely tough. And that only became easier once my channel became like profitable enough to lose the job and go all in as a creator.
What was like your first taste of income as a YouTuber?
So it wasn't actually what most YouTubers experience when they get income for the first time. Most YouTubers first make money through YouTube when they get their channel monetized and they start earning ad revenue. Fortunately, I started earning money way before that because kind of from day one, I started weaving in affiliate marketing into my YouTube channel.
Okay.
For those who don't know what affiliate marketing is, it's when you talk about products that exist on the internet, you send people to that product using your unique tracking link. And if someone buys that product, you earn a commission from the seller. I knew about this stuff from the marketing jobs I had in the past. So I kind of wove it into my channel from day one. which meant that I actually started earning money through my channel far earlier than when my channel got monetized, maybe 1 year later down the line. I think a lot of people watching should try and do something similar.
I love this because affiliate marketing is, I think, like the easiest, lowest barrier to entry when it comes to making money as a creator. I always get really bullish, like make an email list so that you communicate with your audience. And then affiliate marketing can be a great way to tie that in, whether it's like through companies directly or simple stuff like using Amazon or something, because they have a pretty well-known affiliate program. Well, doesn't pay as great. It's still pretty popular. How do you find affiliates? Like, how do you recommend creators find affiliates that are actually going to be long-term valuable, relationships? Because I feel like with where we are, it's 2024, affiliate marketing, I always consider part of the big three. We got sponsorships, AdSense, and affiliates. It can seem really cluttered, and it can seem really cluttered and overwhelming. How do creators nowadays like find the right affiliates for them that will work, that they can utilize and benefit from long term?
Sure. So at the start, I had no strategy whatsoever. I came in it probably similar to how most people come in it. Really, any topic I was talking about on YouTube, I was just thinking, I wonder if there's an affiliate product that I could weave into this topic, that I could include in this video, which served a purpose. It got some results. As I've been doing this longer, my approach has become more refined and more selective over the products that I talk about now and try and promote. So for me personally, I focus exclusively on promoting software products through my channel. There's a few reasons why, if you want me to jump into that.
Please tell us.
Cool. So first off, with most software products, most of them have a free trial. So when you're talking about that product to your viewers, you can say, hey, if you want to go try this out for free, follow the link below. So it's not as big of an ask or like as salesy to your viewers when they're watching on YouTube. Kind of more comes across like you're doing a favor for them by putting them in the direction for a free trial. Secondly to that, when people do go through the free trial and then they sign up to the software, most of these software products are subscription products. So the way that those subscription products reward their affiliates is they give the affiliate, so me, the YouTuber, a commission of that first month, what the viewer pays for. But then the best software affiliate products also pay me, the YouTuber, every single month after that. So I can direct and convert one of my viewers to a customer and get one payment for it, like instantaneously for doing that. But then I keep getting commissions every month for doing that work once. So it's like ongoing passive income, which I just think is the best form.
I agree. Like this is recurring versus like one off. And I think that it's the smart way. And software first is like one of those only places I think that can do it because they're charging the monthly membership to people. And so that it's like built into their costs of, I know some of the brands I've worked with that do this is vidIQ, StreamYard, Adobe as a whole does this. I'm sure that you've got a great list of ones that you use as well. So I think that it's a smart way to go about it. Do you find that committing to a specific software limits your content creation or your earning potential? Or do you feel that like, no, because I'm loyal, I'm known for this thing and therefore it just keeps working?
Well, there's a ton of software out there that do tons of different things. So yeah, it might be that I've chosen one piece of software to serve a specific purpose for my audience, but my audience want to do a multitude of things, which really gives me the opportunity to talk about a multitude of software. So yeah, I've never really had any issues there.
Yeah, I always have found like I kind of had to like hitch my wagon to a horse, but like I really researched that horse and I knew everything about it and how it would work. And I often also found that like being loyal to a brand benefits you in multiple ways because like when you can get started with the affiliate programs with a company without them knowing anything about you or who you are, what you're about. And like as you build a reputation around a product, then they can take note of you. And then they're like, okay, who's this person? How can we do more together? Like this is obviously someone that's a brand advocate for us. What else could this turn into? I know that's how my relationship with StreamYard had started. I've been with StreamYard since they were like in beta. And it was very much just like, I like this tool because it gives me the graphic quality control I'm looking for, like with all of the overlay customization that you're able to do even still now. And it just started off there. And I just became this like accidental StreamYard expert over COVID and just turned into this other long-term relationship where I've not only like a sponsored creator with them, but I also like I'll go to events with them. People like know me. Desiree's the person that does it. I've literally been at events completely unrelated to anything. And someone would be like, are you Desiree from StreamYard? Like, yeah. And they'll come with their computer and be like, can you help me fix this thing? And I walk through how something works. So it just becomes that like kind of association, which I think is really cool personally.
Yeah, like exactly what you said. If you associate yourself with a great product, you kind of benefit from like positive brand image that product has because you're so closely connected to it. So it kind of helps you both out.
How do you think affiliate marketing parlays into sponsorships? I know we're kind of jumping around a bit and we're a little off of like our flow usually, but I think that it's this flow works in. So how do you think affiliates can support sponsorships?
Sure. Well, as you just mentioned, like starting with affiliate marketing can actually lead to you becoming more known by the brands, and it may lead to you getting offered sponsorships by that brand because
Mhm.
they see how great you are at sending people through affiliate marketing. So, yeah, it can really help creators build a positive relationship with the brand. I guess, secondly, to that, it can also support you when affiliate marketing, sorry, can support you when the sponsorships aren't flowing regularly. I think it's a lot harder to get a sponsorship. They come a lot less regularly than affiliate marketing commissions do. So if you've got that constant stream of affiliate marketing revenue coming in, you don't need that sponsorship to be coming in every week or every month because you have this like cushion, the safety net affiliate marketing commission.
I love
So
that.
yeah, I think they work really well together.
I really love that. Now, you and I are both going to be at TubeFest, which is an event in Birmingham, UK, and you are leading one of the lunch and learns for Opus Clip. Did your relationship with Opus Clip kind of start this way? Like, were you affiliate for them and then they took notice of you and did more, or was it a different journey?
Yeah, perfect example of that.
Okay,
You're
perfect. I'm
completely
glad that it
correct.
worked out.
So yeah, I discovered Opus Clip just through being a creator and needing a tool to help me put out content more easily. Realized they had an affiliate program, so started talking about them in my videos, sending my viewers to Opus Clip to check out the product themselves. Opus Clip quickly took note. This was quite early in Opus Clip's life, like they were just starting out as a company and just kind of reached out, connected to me, and we've just been building that relationship ever since to the point now where I'm leading my first ever panel session for them in a few weeks' time at TubeFest.
It's so easy for us to think like so small in our money bubble sometimes. We can get very tunnel visioned, I think, around the idea of like, I've got to figure out how to make money from this. And sometimes our money plays have to kind of be long. In the same way that you think about like to give a thing that most of us understand, which is a job. Like a job is about starting entry level and getting better and getting promotions and improving your skill set, whether it's to advance the company you're at or go to a different company and do more there. It's kind of that kind of idea too when you think about like how you can build brand relationships that can have long income opportunities attached to it as well. So I think a good reminder to everyone listening or watching that like there's the immediate money and then there's the long-term money and you kind of got to be playing both.
And like you said, it's so important when you take that into consideration to choose good products and good brands to promote. Because if that's eventually going to lead to a long term relationship, you want to make sure you're connecting yourself with a good brand and a good product.
I'd almost argue to a smaller brand. Like everyone's always like, I want to work with Disney or Amazon or like even my like Adobe. I'm like, I get that, but what are some of the smaller companies that are in like their hustle phase that you could get in with early on? I think that's something also to consider as well. I mean, obviously, it still needs to be good and all that stuff, but also I think it's
Mhm.
still an important thing to consider as well.
For sure, yeah. There's tons of new companies popping up, and I'm seeing a lot of my creator friends building relationships with these smaller brands because they're so enthusiastic about partnering with creators. So yeah, 100%.
What were the circumstances that were in place that allowed for you to go full time?
I can put going full time as a creator down really to affiliate marketing.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I'll just put numbers out there. I'm not scared to talk about numbers and money. I used to do it on my channel quite regularly. So it got to a point where my monthly recurring affiliate marketing revenue hit £3,000 a month when my YouTube channel was only bringing in like between 700 to £1,000 a month.
What were your, like, subscriber numbers at that point too? Subscribers and views.
Yeah, I think at this point I was around 10 to 15,000 subscribers. So, you know, it might be an intimidating number to some, but to a lot of seasoned YouTubers, that actually looks like quite a low number to be going full time as a creator.
100%.
But I was only able to do that with that affiliate marketing revenue coming in. If that affiliate marketing revenue was at zero at that point in time, I would have only been making 700 to £1,000 a month, and there's no way I could have been a full time creator living off that money.
Thank you so much for that share. Like, it is a big deal. I'm the queen of like, yo, you do not need a big follower count to have a full I have less than 40,000 subscribers. and I've been doing this for 7 years, and I make a very solid, full-time income, and I'm the breadwinner for my family of
Great.
4, right? So it's such a misconstrued thing that people get in their head that like a number, like a subscriber count equals an income amount, and nothing could be farther from the truth.
100%, yeah. And that's awesome to hear that model of sort of taking income streams and going above and beyond YouTube is working so well for you too. So that's awesome.
Yes. I always like finding other people that are in that same boat. It also makes me feel a little validated as well. So along your journey, I'm wondering, have you ever had like a really horrible money experience?
Sure. Yeah. So I don't think I've ever said this publicly, but I'm coming out now of a pretty bad financial situation. I've been comfortable now for about 6 months. So it's great. It's behind me. But yeah, things went downhill for me at one point as a creator, for sure.
Are you open to sharing the circumstances of what had happened so that, again, learning from those lessons?
Sure. Yeah, 100%. I can reflect on it now that it's got less of a sting, that
Okay.
I'm out of the other side of it. So, like I said, yeah, I got to the point where I was making more than enough of a full-time income from YouTube, affiliate revenue, a few brand deals here and ad revenue. And that was partly down to like, I had a pretty decent amount of monthly views coming in every month. So I got to this point of comfort and I was like, well, what do I do now? What's the next step? And everyone I seem to be talking to about this was saying, well, you need to build a team, you need to scale, you need to, take this to the next level. So amateurishly, having never done this before, I went out and just took on way more people than I should have at that time. I hired an editor, I hired a social media like assistant for make like decisions with content. So my monthly expenses went from just me like doing everything myself and just paying for my rent every month to paying for all of these staff every month. So my expenses went through the roof. Coincidentally, at the same time, we were just coming out of like lockdown and that whole pandemic period. So the amount of eyeballs watching YouTube had started to go down as everyone had started going out the house again and enjoying their lives and seeing friends. So I had this moment in time where my expenses had shot up each month and my views on my channel had drastically dropped at the same time. And just naively, not being very experienced in business and monitoring like expenses and finances, I kept those high expenses going for far too long, much longer than I should have. I should have been a lot more reactive in fixing the situation and just built up a lot of debt because I just didn't stay on top of my numbers and my finances. It was much later than it actually should have been that I got rid of those stuff. I scaled back down to a one-person company and really focused on what mattered and clawed out of that disaster eventually.
What have you concluded is what matters?
What matters is keeping expenses lower than earnings every month. It is creating a income strategy, like a business plan around your channel. Like, yes, you, like most people on YouTube, you probably get joy from making videos, but at the end of the day, that's not enough to run a business and to fund a career. So it's also like every decision I make, it has to fall under my business plan for the channel of, is this going to make me money? Is this going to lead me to profit? Is this going to be a sustainable decision that benefits me in the long run? So really just being a lot more money focused and a lot more, lean with how I'm operating as a business.
I find this so interesting because we're in such an interesting place in YouTube creator businesses where it's literally the two polar extremes. The advice on both sides is you need to stay lean. One person teams, like we've seen some creators that have really scaled back, like we had Vanessa Lau, we've had Deval, like the minimalist guy. Yeah, he went down to like a one person team. You have you sharing this experience that you've gone through. And you have the other side of it where people are like scaling and building teams because they're like, I just want to focus on creating great content, but I know I need these other things to happen to make it work. So I'm like, I'm going to hire an editor, I'm going to hire a COO, I'm going to have a thumbnail guy. Like I have all these systems and people and parts, whether they're employees or contractors. There's a lot of pieces. And I know like examples like Millie, who's been on the podcast, she's talked about this. Bigger creators like Colin and Samir have broken down their process for how they do stuff. And it's so like polarizing these sides. And it's not that neither one is wrong. It's about which makes sense for you as a creator and individual of like what you're trying to do with your business. As you have decided to step back and sort of simplify and minimize yourself down to like your one person team, what is your plan then within your creator business plan for scaling? Because I don't think there's a business person alive that would say you cannot scale without help. So like what's your plan?
I want to just put it out there. I am not against scaling as a creator whatsoever. I just went about it the wrong way. And I think a lot of people go about it the wrong way because they're inexperienced. They've never tried it before. They don't know what they should be looking out for and what mistakes they could make. I completely plan on hiring again in the future as part of my plan to scale in the future. But when I do that again, I'm now going to be so much more financially intentional when I do so. What I mean by that is every person I hire, I need a concrete plan about how this person is going to bring additional money into my business. And once that person is hired, I'm going to be measuring on a regular basis, is that person bringing in the money that I planned them to make? Because I didn't do that before. I just hired people and thought, wow, I've got more people. My channel's going to grow and I'm obviously going to make more money. And it didn't work. That was like a pipe dream. I believe you have to be so much more strategic, really measure stuff, have a plan. And if that plan's not working, adapt quickly. So that would be my plan when I come at this again, moving forwards.
It sounds like you also do like one solution at a time rather than all of the solutions at one time.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
So my immediate plan, I was chatting to someone about this the other day. I'm probably going to hire an editor very soon, but I know that's a good decision now because I'm at the point where I'm getting a lot of brand deals coming my way. And I know if I could spend a bit more time chasing brand deals, I'd probably get 2 or 3 more brand deals coming my way. And the time I'd save by hiring an editor would allow me to put the time I need into chasing those brand deals, which would bring in far more money to the business than it would cost me to pay the editor. So I'm looking at it with a money in versus money out focus now, whereas before it was just kind of optimism and here's what I've been told to do, I'm going to do it.
I think that you've already proven that doing what everyone does and what you're told to do didn't quite work for you. So I think that your method is going to work a lot better for you in the long term. So one of the things that we do in this podcast that so many other places don't is we talk about like where your income comes from specifically, and we break it down by percentages. So the first one that we have on here is that AdSense makes up 10% of your income for your channel. Now, because of what you're doing, I'm curious now, do you think that you have a higher like CPM than other people do on your content because of what you talk about, which also helps it be a higher amount?
I think maybe slightly. I talk about a lot of AI tools, and I know a lot of AI companies want to advertise on YouTube, so there's probably a slightly higher CPM there. But I have spoken about different niches in the past with my channels and had far higher CPM. So it's nowhere near as high as it could be, but versus a channel that talks about maybe music or like Fortnite, I'm probably higher than just like the average channel.
It's so funny that like the most popular YouTube content of gaming is like the lowest paying.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It is. Okay, so you have 20% of your income that comes from sponsorships. Who are some of your brand sponsorships partners that you are working with the most that help with that income?
So Opus Clip, we've already spoke about them. They're my most regular brand partner. I have a relationship with them where I do content for them every month. So that's like, and that's really nice for just sort of peace of mind. I know that that's going to come in every month. I've got this recurring income every month.
I had to ask you a question just so I can get the clarity on that. Do you have content you create for them every month? Is it like for their channel or like content about them on your channel?
Good question. I've got a bit of an intricate relationship with them. So I make some for my channel and some for their channel as well.
Awesome. I think that's a really great way, I think, for sponsorships to be structured, because it's very much, it's like by having on your channel, it's credibility, it's longevity, it's affiliates, it's all that stuff. And then also when you make it for their channel, it helps them with their marketing objectives. So then they don't have to go like hire that full-time creator or any of that kind of stuff. They have that existing talent that's already in place. It's kind of like, why would we go hire someone? We have a perfectly great person who already loves us that can talk about us.
For sure. Yeah.
Anyone else besides Opus Clip that you're working with these days?
Yeah. So apart from that, they're the only kind of repeat brand deal, but I get, because the AI tools like niche is so hot right now, there's so many companies popping up in that space, I get a lot of just like brand new companies contacting me every month. So I've done a couple of branded videos for Wondershare recently for some of their different AI tools. I did a video for a podcasting company called Wave Room recently. So yeah, and I'm doing one for a company that makes AI avatars called Synthesia, which is going to hitting my channel in the next few weeks. So they're coming in nicely.
I love that for you. Our next income stream, which is so funny because we spent so much time talking about it, but it's your smallest one. which is affiliates. How do you think it is that
Yes,
happened that
yeah.
affiliates became like your smallest income stream, but was like such a foundational part of your rise to full-time income?
Sure. I really took my took my foot off the pedal with affiliate marketing about 2 or 3 years in. I kind of pivoted my channel. I had this kind of whole vision of what the channel was going to be, and affiliate marketing didn't really factor into it much at that point in time. So I moved away from it. And it was only like in the last year that I reflected back and thought, oh my God, like I had such a big impact on my income 6 years ago from affiliate marketing. Why did I stop doing that? And I've started building it up again in the last 6 to 9 months. And I expect in another 6 months' time that affiliate marketing percentage is going to be a lot higher, but that's kind of where it is now on the journey of building it back up.
So it's so funny how we just go back to the old things that were working because we get distracted by shiny new butterflies.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
I had that happen to me last year in 2023 with my YouTube channel because it was like I have an education channel and it was like everyone stopped needing to know how to do things because they left their homes and realizing that their businesses could operate differently and all these things, right? And I was like, what's wrong with my channel? Why doesn't anyone want to watch me anymore? And I went this whole like existential crisis of like, I have to create this kind of like attention grabbing content. I have to use like crazy locations and like insane thumbnails, all this stuff. And I was like, no, you just need to go back to doing what you know how to do, which is teach people stuff. It's like once you get back in the groove, it just kind of didn't correct in the same way. Like I'm not back up to the levels I'd love to be at, but like it's just so easy to get distracted.
It's like you're in my head. That's exactly the process I went through. It's just like, oh no more educational content, attention grabbing stuff, and then I came back to education eventually.
Yeah. It's really for me, like if I could give advice to anybody about YouTube channel stuff, it's like once you're established, because like you and I have been doing this for the same amount of time, about 7 years, where it's like once you have the thing you're kind of established for, you're not in really the best place to ever like do something else. The people that can do it, I don't think they're the rule. I think they're the exception. And I think that if you want to go to something different, go make a YouTube channel about that thing. Like I have a goal by the end of the year. I want to launch a new YouTube channel that's all like storytelling about motherhood and domestic life and all the things I've learned in my almost 40 years of life and stuff. And like that would make no sense on my YouTube channel because it's all about like how to do things with online marketing. There's no connection. So just go make the new thing and it's okay.
Yeah, that's the approach I always tell people, like recommend when they say they want to talk about a radically different topic, make a second YouTube channel.
Yeah. So the next income stream that makes up 40% of your income is service. What are the services that you are providing in the AI world?
Sure. So I'm a YouTube strategist / content creator for hire for AI tool companies.
Okay.
So companies like OpusClip, for example, just to plug them one more time, a company in that type, in that position, that want to do better on their own YouTube channel and just kind of get more exposure for their AI products on YouTube. I work with them to help them do that. So whether it's coming up with video ideas, helping them optimize their existing channel, or even making content for their channel to help them get that new attention, that's kind of what I see as my service offering.
I feel like you're the male British version of me through this conversation because I do that.
Yes.
It's like that's what the Funded YouTuber. The Funded YouTuber is Gigastars podcast that I love that I get to do because I get to talk about my favorite thing and it supports what they're doing with helping YouTubers get funding and all this kind of stuff. And it's for them. I love this. I also don't ever meet other people that do this too. So it's also like you're really excited about it as well.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot to talk about at TubeFest in a few
We
weeks'
are.
time.
And then you also have 25% comes from consulting. And I'm guessing that kind of ties back in. It's a little bit of both, but how would you describe your consulting work as different?
So yeah, I kind of really work, I offer sort of packages to my clients, and within that package it includes like the service stuff I do, which is like the market research, the coming up with YouTube video ideas for you, but also we get together on like a weekly or bi-weekly basis for me to consult you so that you're building those skills up over time too. So eventually you can hand things away from me and do everything yourself.
I love that. Giving them a plan for their own success, a little bit of guidance. What is your next money move, Greg?
My next money move? Ooh, that's a great question. In the spirit of having learnt my lesson of how important it is to kind of take what's already working for you and double down on it, and fighting that shiny object syndrome that I've fallen victim to in the past, my plan really is to just become more established with what I'm already doing, the YouTube strategy for AI tool companies, get some case studies, get testimonials, and really just keep increasing my prices and earning more money from that.
I love that your plan includes increasing your prices because it is so easy not to do that. So I love that. Well, Greg, I am so grateful for you sharing your money journey with us on the podcast. It's been wonderful. You can find the links to everything that we talked about and all the great, awesome things that Greg is doing to change the world of AI over in our show notes at thefundedyoutuber.com. Thank you again so much. Until next week, go make that money, guys. Bye. The Funded YouTuber is brought to you by Gigastar, a parent company of Gigastar Market, an SEC-registered funding portal, and member of FINRA. Learn more at gigastar.io. Music provided by APM Music, unrivaled music to bring your stories to life. Neither Gigastar nor its affiliated companies provide legal, regulatory, financial, or tax advice. Any opinions expressed herein are those of the authors and are the informational purposes only. The information and opinions expressed herein are subject to change without notice and do not take into account the particular investments, objectives, financial situation, or needs of any specific investors.